Hi everyone, and welcome to another bass singer vocal analysis, and welcome to spooky season. I will probably not be doing a weekly Halloween with the skull mask this whole month. I've obviously already missed at least 1 week doing that, but I'm going to do some Halloween content, and this is the first one. This is Hide and Seek by VoicePlay featuring Lauren Paley, who is really the one that at least repopularized this song recently. I think the original came out in 2018. Lauren Paley made this super viral TikTok video, and I think her YouTube short of it also has 35 million views. If you don't know Lauren, she's the stairwell siren. She's super well known on a lot of social media for her stairwell singing. By the way, I'm Peter Barber, primarily a professional opera singer, music producer, and bass vocalist. Just like to include that in the beginning of every video. Anyway, most of you know me. I'd say 95% of the people watching this video already know me, but if you didn't, now you do. Guys, we're going to be doing an analysis of this song. I watched the premiere, so I've seen it once. But we're going to do a full breakdown vocally, musically. We're going to figure out what's going on in this piece. So if you want to watch the video straight through, if you haven't seen it, I'll include a link below in the description. And go watch that, and then come back if you want to learn more about what's happening musically and vocally. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. Comment below for the algorithm. And if I am enhancing your listening experience, if you're learning things about music from these videos, if you're enjoying videos more from my analyses, please consider donating to my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Link also below. And without further ado, let's check out this super spooky Hide and Seek by VoicePlay featuring Lauren Paley.
Ding dong, I know you can hear me. Open up the door. I only wanna play a little. So the thing about this, I say this is a vocal analysis and not a reaction purely because it feels insincere to have recently watched it, but at the same time, and I've said this before, how you approach a video or like one of these for me as opposed to just watching it casually, like I'm going to hear much more here, and there are going to be some genuine reactions about things I wasn't paying attention to when I watched originally, so it really is a reaction, but not a first time. But there will be some reactions. But starting off very basic, we have Lauren taking the lead, very similar to her stairwell singing. We have the rest of the crew simply on ooh vowels, which of course blend really well, and they give this arrangement a place to go. Contrast, it sets up potential for contrast. It's very bare bones, and aside from that, really exceptional costuming. I believe Lauren must be green screened in. I believe she went to Lane's studio in Nashville, because she lives in Nashville, to shoot this. I don't know if this is green screen to put in or if she was with them on the day, like the whole crew on the day. I don't really know the details of how this came together, but she is like this ghostly figure, whereas the others are actually here, aside from Caesars, who is in a little crystal ball there. But arrangement-wise, very simple. Lauren's on lead, the rest of them singing oohs. We do have a cool chord in here. Ding dong, I know you can hear me. Open up the door.
So it goes, and it shifts up a half step to D, which is the bottom of a Neapolitan. I don't think it's not a Neapolitan chord, but a flat 2. In other words, the normal 2 in this key of C minor would be E flat, but we have a D here instead. It just is really cool, and it's not in the original, it's not in any other arrangement I've heard, so I just like that they did. It just changes, without totally rechanging the harmony, it just adds a little bit of something new to this arrangement. Jeff down to an A1 chest. Very smooth, too. So again, this is still, at least when Jeff has his strongest bass notes, this is comfy for him down to A1. And so he can do it without any of that compression. It's just nice and relaxed.
And what you get with a relaxed sound as opposed to a compressed sound is you get a lot more of the bass frequency, like the literal like subwoofer kind of feel, and there's not much high harmonic content. With a little filter, it would pretty much just sound like a subwoofer instead of a human voice. The timbre, the quality of sounds, it's much more important how the harmonic series is above the fundamental of the sound. So if he's singing an A1, but it's very breathy, with a little bit of editing, it's hard to tell the difference between that and like a subwoofer or another instrument with the high frequencies cut out. If he has a lot of high harmonic content in the sound, then it's easy to tell that it's a human voice. But right here, it's just very, very low, very smooth, down at an A1.
Calling the spirits wherever they're at.
So we've got some bell tones going on. And aside from that, we just have Caesar doing essentially voice acting. He's not singing. There's no specified pitch. He's really delivering text at this point, which is, if I remember correctly, they do a lot of that in this video. It's a lot more voice acty than it is singing in a lot of the solo parts.
Spiders, tail of a rat, calling the spirits wherever they're at.
And aside from that, just Lane doing some of his, like, no big hits, no big kicks, no big snares, just like little percussive sounds.
Tail of a rat, calling the spirits wherever they're at.
Ding dong, I know you can hear me. Open up the door, I only wanna play a little.
So the background there, they started the arrangement on ooh, but then in this first section of when a soloist this side from Lauren takes over, they all switch to They switch from ooh to which is still a very pulled back vowel. It's not in your face at all. It still blends very easily. It's very, I don't want to say calming, because you can have ums that aren't necessarily calming. But there's not a lot of harmonic content. It's not an intense vowel choice. So again, there's still, even with this, now there's a little bit of motion in the arrangement, but they're still keeping it pulled back, still leaving a lot of room for them to grow.
Wherever they're at.
Ding dong, I know you can hear me. Open up the door.
Little A flat to A. I like little half-step movements and arrangement because they're always a little eerie. Pretty much always a little eerie if you go from one half step to the next. Especially if you hold them at the same time. I just love it. They don't do that here, but they still use the half steps.
Ding dong, I know you can hear me. Open up the door. I only wanna play a little.
And again, Lane, I think that is Lane, right? That he's doing that part, right? Like completely voice acting, like obviously not trying to sing pretty. He's embodying this weird skeletal character, and that's the whole point. You know, it's abandoning the formal musicality of it to create this character and help create this, you know, Halloween-like music video.
Open up the door. I only wanna play a little.
Ding dong, you can keep me waiting. It's already too late for you to try and run away.
All right, so now Ellie takes over, and now we've got some actual perk sound now coming in from Lane, which again adds a little bit of drive, and it's let me see what he's doing exactly.
Ding dong, I know a little.
Ding dong, you can keep me.
So that's like the main thing, is like kick snare, not like an in-your-face snare. It's a little more pulled back, kind of like that, with a little bit of other things going on. And there's also the backgrounds change here too.
I only wanna play a little.
Ding dong, you can keep me waiting.
So now the backgrounds are going, So still like pretty closed mouth, I'd guess, in their recording. So still not like It's more like an just like just opening up ever so slightly. But even that little bit, even if you don't notice it, you feel it. It adds to the intensity of the arrangement. And Ellie too, more voice acting than singing, to the point of actually yelling during his bit here.
Ding dong, you can keep me waiting.
So he does sing the first few notes and then says waiting.
Ding dong, you can keep me waiting. It's already too late for you to try.
And then the backgrounds open up to actual text. Late, whatever they say. Which is cool. So they've gone from ooh in the intro to and then text. So it's taken them 30 seconds of this arrangement, a little more than 30 seconds, to get into any kind of speech text in the background parts.
You can keep me waiting. It's already too late for you to try and run away.
That line from Jeff keeps coming back. The 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Down to that C sharp too. He keeps having that at the end of each section.
It's already too late for you to try and run away.
See you through the window.
Almost like a little halftime. We go some. I really like a halftime breakdown. Adds a lot to an arrangement, and again, more contrast, more things, and VoicePlay is so good about section to section doing different things. Their Hall of the Mountain King I just did, maybe my favorite arrangement ever by them, because it's just so interesting and you have no idea where it's going next. They also do a really great job of this song by bringing in multiple genres into the arrangement.
Away.
See you through the window.
So that was interesting. So Jeff joins, and then for a second, and then it's all four save Lane singing together on this solo, on the melody text, on the solo text of the song. Lane, of course, continues to beatbox, but the four of them were all singing together there on that text.
I can sense your horror. Though I like to see it closer.
Oh, I like that. See it closer. You guys know how much I love VoicePlay. I think their arrangements are so brilliant. And it's little things like that. Instead of the backgrounds going, see it closer, they go, see it closer. Something like that. And it just, especially when you're actually paying attention to, you're like, God, like that's such a cool little thing that they didn't need to do. But it just adds a little bit of spark to their arrangements.
Though I like to see it closer.
Ding dong, here I come to find you. Hurry up and run. Let's play a little game. It'll be fun.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So Jeff's on these like staccato bass notes. Lane doing full like again, a lot of these little percussive sounds.
To see it closer.
Ding dong, here I come to.
Actually, no, just kidding. Take that back. This is very much like kick, hi-hat, snare section. From Lane here, it's like very much like basic drum kit.
Find you. Hurry up and run. Let's play a little game. It'll be fun.
What do they do? Like that. Like that's just I wonder what the sheet music for that looks like.
You hurry up and run. Let's play a little game. It'll be fun.
Ding dong, where is it you've gone to? Do you think you won? Are you not going to see? Has just begun.
Great. So I like that. The whole drum kit kept up.
Game, it'll be fun.
Ding dong, where is it you've gone to?
Also, Jeff's bass line is killer. Like this whole time, it's just like it's so clean. It's not necessarily. He does have some highlights, but it's not necessarily highlight as much as some of the other pieces, or obviously his own arrangements. But if you just listen to Jeff the whole time, he's just nailing it. Just like such a good, solid low bass line the whole time.
Do you think you won? I get kind of seek has just been.
Seek has just be. Seek has just be. Another little, just interesting thing they threw in there.
Do you think you won? I get kind of seek has just been.
I hear your footsteps.
Okay, there we go. And that also, another breakdown. So they go from to another halftime breakdown, which again, totally switches it up, keeps it interesting.
Seek has just been.
I hear your footsteps.
A flat 1. God, dude, that's just silly. But you can, again, here, compare this A flat 1. I'll spot it real quick. Okay, we're at 106. So listen to this A flat, obviously a human voice, because predominantly, now he is saying words here, but in terms of timbre, you could still tell because there's a lot more high harmonic content because it's a more compressed bass sound because Jeff is trying to get that thick high harmonic content because that really is what you need. The sub sound for a bass, but a really strong bass voice has a lot of the high overtones as well. So just listen to the I'm gonna let you hear this A flat 1, then I'm gonna find the A in the beginning so you can hear the difference that I'm talking about timbrally between the two ways to sing a very similar pitch. Here it's an A flat 1. In the intro was an A, so just a half step off.
Seek has just been.
I hear your
Crazy different. Also, it's a pretty nutty A flat 1. I know it's standard for Jeff at this point, but still crazy.
I hear your footsteps.
Hear your. And then Lane doing whatever the hell that is.
I hear your footsteps.
I genuinely don't know I don't know, like, I used to be really into beatboxing when I was younger. My friend and I, when we were kids, actually recorded like a whole beatboxing album. And we were good for that time, but we are dog shit compared to the good beatboxers now. It is so crazy how much that art form has evolved. Like, I can't even... Like, if you go back and listen to the best beatboxers from, like, 2005 and, like, recordings on YouTube, it's hilarious. It's like beatboxing 101, if that, compared to, like, what these guys can do and what professional beatboxers do that just beatbox. Like, the stuff those guys can do is absolutely insane. This is a sound effect. I don't know how he does this sound effect. But it's great, and it's like Jeff just says footsteps. It could be like a weird, creepy little creature. Their footsteps.
I hear your footsteps.
So that's a different thing in the background. La 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 la. We haven't heard laws yet before. Another new element.
I can hear your sharp breaths.
A5 from Lauren.
Just wait, you can't hide from me.
I'm coming.
Just wait.
Oh, there's a heartbeat in the background. I like that.
Just wait, you can't hide from me.
I'm coming.
So, city sounds, baby. Gotta love it. Jeff and Caesar solo, and then we have...
Just wait, you can't hide from me.
I'm coming.
You have this, like, pumping, not just the heartbeat, but in the background, it's like... kind of feel. It's like a double. We got the pumping of the heartbeat plus the pumping in the background part.
Just wait, you can't hide from me.
Another. Okay. I think Jeff just did another A flat 1, again with that much more breathy, relaxed timbre, which blends really nicely in the background, again, because it just functions more like a subwoofer.
I'm coming.
Just wait till you get it from me.
I'm coming. Just
Wait, you can't hide from
Wait till you get it from me.
I'm coming.
Yeah, another A flat 1, and yeah, just much breathier, much more oriented around the actual bass frequencies. It's a breathier sound. It's not a compressed sound. So again, that's a great example. You can hop back to like 106 in the original and hear his A flat 1. Hear your with a lot of like overtones, and then go back to this one and just hear it as a much more like intentionally more meant for a background kind of sound.
Just wait, you can't hide from me.
I'm coming.
God, he's just down there.
I'm coming.
Just wait, you can't hide from me.
I'm coming. La, 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 la.
E flat 6 from Lauren. E flat 6.
I'm coming. La, 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 la. Knock, knock, I am at your door now.
Yes.
I am coming in. You better hide.
No reason to ask me.
It's so good. So then they go into essentially a house beat. Like 4 on the floor. I love this vibe. This is so cool. Now, I'm partial to dubstep. House and dubstep are both EDM genres. Dude, this is more like deep house almost. Dubstep's my favorite. So the dubstep drop they did or trap or dubstep, also different genres, but I'm partial to both of them. I think it was a trap beat in Hall of the Mountain King that I went absolutely nuts for. But this is very cool too. I absolutely love this shift into like more EDM.
I'm coming. La, 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 la. Knock, knock, I am at your door now. I am coming in. You better hide.
No reason to ask me.
Knock, I'm inside your room now. Where is it you've hid? Our game of hide and seek's about to end.
I love that. In the background, they're all chipping in at various moments with the actual text. Jeff has this really cool thing where he jumps down to the super low bit and then jumps back right in the middle and then up and then back down to the low bit. All super smooth. It's super well put together. And of course, the sound engineering is brilliant. It's perfect. So everything sounds so crisp and so clean. I love it. I love this section.
Knock, knock, I am at your door now. I am coming in. You better hide.
So it's like text, dum dum, ooh, back to text. They're like jumping kind of between all the various ways you can sing a background part, but they're doing all of them kind of in one section.
No reason to ask me.
Knock, I'm inside your room now. Where is it you've hid? Our game of hide and seek's about to end.
Come closer.
Looking underneath your
Okay, so that was definitely Jeff singing both lines, right? Because I know they pretty much always try to avoid that. Same with like pentatonics. If Jeff is singing a solo, someone else has to take the bass line so that they can perform these songs live. Is that Jeff doing both there?
Come closer.
looking underneath.
Or maybe not. Maybe it's someone, but anyone else singing that? Like I know Ellie and Lane can both sing low, but they would need some like crazy morning voice to have a bassy sounding C sharp too. If it is someone that's not Jeff.
Come closer.
Looking underneath your bed.
You're not here, I wonder.
Could you be inside the closet?
Dang, Ellie got way up there. I think Ellie got up to an A5.
Underneath your bed.
You're not here, I wonder.
Could you be inside the closet?
I think he stayed on an A flat. Ellie did, I think.
Could you be inside the closet?
Yeah. I'm not gonna try and hit that right now. Inside the closet on his super high octave. One more time.
Could you be inside the closet? Ding dong, I have found you. Ding dong, you were hiding here. Now you're ding dong, finally found you here.
That's great. Okay, now I have some guitar sounds from Ellie. We've got a great bass line from Jeff happening.
Could you be inside the closet? Ding dong, I have found you. Ding dong, you were hiding here. Now you're ding dong, finally found you here.
Got someone doing some crazy high falsetto. Who is that? Caesar up in the floating orb.
We're hiding here. Now you're ding dong, finally found you here.
Ding dong, looks like we have one.
Hard to tell who's doing what.
Ding dong, pay the consequence.
Ding dong, looks like we have.
So that's a big section. A lot of matters. There's ghosts flying around. There's really too much to break down, and I've only got about 3 minutes left. And then I guess we go into this final section, and they're gonna pull it back some, I think.
Dong, pay the consequence.
Ding dong, looks like we have one. Now you're in.
Back to the bell tones and pure whisper from Lauren. So there's no phonation, meaning her vocal folds are not coming together. It's a pure whisper.
Ding dong, looks like we have one. Now you're in. Ding dong, pay the consequence. Hurry back.
God, that's creepy. I like that they wrote like this little outro, I guess, to fill this green screen. Because it feels like the main portion of the video ended like 15, 20 seconds ago. And then they had this extra bit just for this outro where Lauren's going, hurry back. Which is really cool. Really like it. So, guys, they did a great job with this. It's a great piece. It's been done by a lot of people. It is, I'm sure more covers of it will be done very, very soon. So we'll see who else wants to take on this song for Halloween. It's a great one. I actually just did a little stairwell cover of it. And yeah, guys, so that was it. I had a lot of fun breaking this down. So as you could tell, not just a vocal analysis, but I mean, not just a vocal analysis, also definitely a bit of a reaction. Like there were a lot of things I heard here that I just didn't catch when I'm, just listening for pleasure as like a kind of let it wash over me kind of thing. Part of the analysis, one can never turn off, especially hearing things about vocal technique, but especially a lot of the little intricacies of the arrangement. That's stuff I really only hear when I'm paying close attention. So this was fun for me to get a closer look, and always just like seeing the genius behind VoicePlay arrangements is always fun for me to dive into. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment, and join my Patreon if you got a lot out of this video. If you feel like I helped you hear more and understand and appreciate more about the music and about this fantastic a cappella group. If you enjoyed, consider my Patreon, link below. And guys, until then, I will see you next time. Bye-bye.